Well, here we are again, my friends. Russ of the West Ham Network. Hope you're all safe and well. Whispering Budden. It's Whispering Budden. It's hump day, bin day in the Budden household. Had to take the bins out before I went to the office. Exciting times. Oh, the life I live. Anyway, it's the second game of the summer series this evening, 11:30 p.m. I keep saying it. People go, it's 11:30 during the day. It's not. It's 11:30 p.m. And obviously, when we watched the Man United game, for me, the back five was the back five. That's our back five first choice, with the exception, maybe if Aguirre gets moved on, although I can't really see it yet. It's a bit too late in the day, but we are linked to a number of players, and there is interest in Naif, and it might be that interest is included in a deal, maybe for a new player potentially. So that's that sorted. Not sorted, but settled. Obviously, we spoke about the goalkeeper in great depth yesterday. A number of goalkeepers have been linked with a move to West Ham, and if we're led to believe that's the priority this week. I always find it quite ironic that you say this week, and the window's been open for the best part, bar a little few days in between, since the 1st of June. So 2 months now that's been open, and now we're getting to this week. This week, we've put it on the back burner. We'll sort that out today. It's only one of the most critical pieces of a football team. But that midfield is obviously the bane of contention for. Well, it's not really contention. Most West Ham fans know it needs sorting. Most West Ham fans know it needs some major surgery, and yet we don't seem to have put any transplants in terms of new areas. Obviously, Freddie Potts is someone I think, as the season goes on, will become more and more critical. But it's clear, and that's what I want to see tonight. I want to see some movement on from what was last year, what was Guerrero Rodriguez, Souček, Jeremy. If I see that again this evening, I'll be so frustrated, because this is an opportunity in front of Premier League play, standard opposition. No disrespect to your Brougham Woods or your Braintrees or your Orients. Someone who actually we're going to be playing in a few weeks' time. Maybe one or two individuals change, but in essence, a Premier League ready side to do something different. To obviously Alvarez is just come back from I think he might be on the bench tonight, so I understand that. Maybe in time for Sunday, on Sunday we start seeing a bit more of what we're going to see in that midfield, with the exception of bringing people in, which I still think we're looking at. We know that we should have in the next, it should be this week, but it might be towards the end of this week, if not early next week, the final judgment from the FA. It's in the written reasons stage. So basically they file their report, which could be 30, 50, 60 page long, which is then reviewed by representatives of Paqueta. I think West Ham to review it as well, I think, which goes into all the details and all the evidence, and real deep report. So they're at that stage now. So it's almost like the paperwork, crossing the I's, dotting the T's. No. Yes, it is. Sorry, I'm very, very tired today. I haven't been able to sleep well the last couple of days. I don't know what it is. So we know that's happening, and with that, there is some potential renewed interest in him leaving, although I think the valuation of what Flamengo, for example, who have got some money, they sold Wesley. Wesley, is it Kosova, a guy that we were looking at? I think they sold him to Roma, or an Italian side. Which, who did they sell him to? Roma, yeah. 25 million euros plus 5 million add-ons. So they've got about 30 million euros. West Ham are looking for at least double that. So I don't think they will have sufficient funds to make that happen. there's no rumblings that he is looking at moving as of yet. But as we said, you know, I think he's prerogative. If he wants to leave, he's more than welcome to, considering, you know, how not this club, but this country's football association has treated him, particularly in the World Cup year as well. So you know, that midfield needs some. You know, I would love to see Freddie start tonight, just to give us a little bit of a flavour of what's to come. We've had a bit of an amuse-bouche with Freddie and Preston. I don't think, you know, he should start as such. Preston, I think, you know, he's very much one for the future, where Freddie is for now. And so seeing Freddie in that mix, competing against Premier League class midfielders as well, could offer us a glimmer of hope in terms of what this midfield is going to look like. Even taking one of them players out and putting in, like, take Yeda out and put in Potts, straight away you've got, it's a younger three now. And then, you know, maybe you take out JWP, bring in Paqueta for tomorrow, or tonight rather. That in itself is a lot more creative. You've got a bit more dynamism in terms of Freddie Potts, and then you've got the issue, not the issue with Souček and the Souček, you know, conundrum, where it could be Souček's taken out, Alvarez is taken in, Potts, Paqueta, Alvarez, without spending any more money yet. And so we will do. I'm pretty sure we will do in the next month. That's a more dynamic, stronger, more creative from sort of midfield before we've even started looking at, you know, who's going to play on the left-hand side, you know, with sort of that three sort of up front kind of thing. You know, you got sort of Fulkrug, Bowen, and one more. Could it be Guilherme? You know, eventually I think it will be Somerville. But yeah, or it might even be maybe they play two and put Paqueta. I mean, there is ways of moving that midfield and that attackers around a bit, but we do seem to be sort of stalling in any. Obviously, we spoke yesterday about Ardon Yashiri from Club Bruges. We shall see. Although my series just told them when I said Yashiri. But I think tonight's going to give us a lot more, hopefully, answers in terms of what we're looking at. And then obviously the Bournemouth game on Sunday, that should be, you know, all but confirming the starting lineup against Sunderland. Then you've got Lille next week, which again is another dress rehearsal. You know, and that's the idea. The idea, you know, these matches is to, rather than give minutes to necessarily people who aren't going to be making massive impacts this season, get players playing who are going to be together as a team, you know, going through motions, going through patterns of play against opposition who are similar to the level that we're going to be playing from the 15th of August onwards. It's great that sometimes we play the kids, and that's great. But the likelihood is, in all honesty, that Preston Fearman's not going to probably play a minute of Premier League football this year. If we're being genuinely honest, I'm not saying he's not good enough at all, because I think he's a cracking player, and I think in 2 years' time, I think we're going to have a hell of a player on our hands, and we're going to have a hell of a job trying to keep this player on our hands. In all honesty, he may get 5 minutes in the cup game, but unless there's massive issues, or unless we've run away with the league and we've got 10 games free and he plays all the kids for 10 games, which is not going to happen, it should be utilised just for, you know, just for this first 11, get some reps in their legs as a team together rather than as individuals, because I think that's what's going to drag us through and get us a lot of points, is team spirit. We've seen it on the videos. Obviously, you know, they're the videos, they're produced by the club, but you know, the way Fulkrug talks about the togetherness, that type of, you can't fabricate that. It's quite clear if the team's not together, and they do seem to have a real sense of togetherness, and that will drag you through points. You know, when it's, you know, 0-0 not on a rainy day in Stoke, but rainy Tuesday, but at Burnley away, and it's 0-0, and you just all get together and get that last one over the door, that type of thing. Yeah. Anyway, little musing, just a little trail of consciousness. No transfer rumours today for me. That'll be Holly later on. But let me know what you think ahead of the Everton game. Am I looking at it too simplistic? Because usually I am, to be honest. I'm a simple person. Anyway, take care and stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, stay dry. I think it looks like it's going to rain. Much love. Bye-bye.